March 12, 1943. AF Scampton, Lincolnshire. Twin-engine Mosquito bombers roared along the runway, engines humming with lethal precision. British crews climbed into the cockpits, checking instruments, confirming coordinates, and briefing for the mission ahead. Every second counted. The aircraft lifted smoothly into the sky, wings cutting through the early morning air. Below, radar posts scanned for enemy activity, while anti-aircraft crews maintained readiness, eyes on the horizon. The Mosquito's speed and agility gave it an advantage, strike before the enemy could respond. As they approached occupied France, German radar detected faint blips. Anti-aircraft guns prepared to fire, and Luftwaffe fighters scrambled. The Mosquito pilots remained calm, relying on instinct and rigorous training. Instruments, navigation, and timing converged in perfect synchrony. The first bomb bay doors opened. In a single sweep, ordnance dropped with unprecedented precision. Observers on the ground, both friend and foe, fell silent, watching the aircraft vanish with unseen speed. By the time flak guns reacted, the Mosquitoes were gone, leaving destruction behind and ore in their wake. Britain had demonstrated that speed, skill, and innovation could strike decisively, before the enemy even knew it had been attacked. By early 1943, Britain faced a pivotal moment in the air war over Europe. The Luftwaffe maintained strong defensive positions across occupied France, the Low Countries, and Western Germany. Heavy flak batteries and fighter patrols threatened Allied operations. Yet, the Royal Air Force sought to exploit technological innovation and tactical daring to overcome these defenses. The Mosquito, a twin-engine bomber built largely of wood, embodied this approach. Britain's strategic objective was clear: disrupt German infrastructure, weaken supply lines, and support broader Allied operations without suffering heavy losses. Conventional bombers faced high attrition, particularly during daylight raids. The Mosquito offered a solution. Speed and agility allowed crews to strike quickly, deliver ordnance precisely, and exit before German defenses could respond. Its unique construction, lightweight, and powerful engines made it the fastest operational bomber of its size in the world at the time. RAF crews underwent rigorous training. Each pilot and navigator studied routes meticulously, calculating speed, altitude, and timing down to the second. Missions were rehearsed repeatedly in simulators and low-risk flights. Every approach had contingencies. Human skill was paramount, instruments guided navigation, but the crew's ability to adjust instantaneously for unexpected flak, weather, or fighter interception often determined survival. The Mosquito's role in Britain's air strategy extended beyond bombing. It was reconnaissance, intruder, and precision strike aircraft all in one. Crews understood the importance of maintaining stealth and speed. Radar detection by the enemy was inevitable, but the combination of high velocity and evasive flight patterns reduced vulnerability. By the time anti-aircraft crews had identified a threat, the Mosquito often had already passed beyond effective range. On March 12, 1943, AF Scampton prepared for one such mission. Orders emphasized precision, timing, and coordination with multiple squadrons. Targets included railway yards and munitions depots critical to German logistics. Detailed intelligence had mapped out flak positions, fighter patrols, and radar stations. Every decision was calculated to minimize risk and maximize impact. The crews, while confident in their aircraft, relied on extensive training to navigate a complex and dangerous airspace. The German defensive system was formidable. Radar stations along the coast tracked incoming aircraft, while flak batteries waited to intercept. Fighters were positioned to respond quickly to intrusions, making timing and surprise essential. The Mosquito's speed, low-altitude capability, and precision approach were designed to exploit gaps in this lead defense. Success required both mechanical advantage and human mastery. Psychologically, the pressure on British crews was immense. Each flight could determine the success of broader operations. Mistakes were costly, yet these missions were critical for sustaining momentum in the air war. The Mosquito's design and performance gave Britain an edge, but it was the combination of discipline, skill, and innovation that turned potential vulnerability into decisive advantage. As the aircraft prepared for takeoff, the airfield hummed with calculated anticipation. Mechanics checked engines, crews ran final instrument tests, and navigators confirmed target coordinates. Every detail mattered. Any error could compromise the mission. Britain's commitment to precision, speed, and calculated risk underpinned the success of the Mosquito program. The stage was set for a strike that would leave observers silent, awed by speed and efficiency, and the German defenses scrambling to respond. The forthcoming engagement would test not only the Mosquito's capabilities but also the resolve and skill of the crews who flew them. In those moments before takeoff, the convergence of training, technology, and strategy foreshadowed a strike that would demonstrate Britain's innovation and tactical ingenuity. German defenses along the Channel and occupied France were formidable. Radar stations monitored airspace continuously, capable of detecting aircraft at high altitudes. Anti-aircraft batteries, strategically positioned near critical infrastructure, were ready to engage any intruders. Luftwaffe fighter patrols maintained rapid response coverage, poised to intercept Allied bombers. Each Mosquito mission had to navigate this dense network of threats with precision and speed. The RAF meticulously studied these defenses. Intelligence reports mapped flak positions, fighter response times, and radar coverage gaps. Flight planners calculated approach angles and altitudes to exploit weaknesses. Low-level ingress minimized radar detection, while high speed reduced exposure to gunfire. Every route had alternative paths, contingencies for sudden flak bursts or fighter interception. Human judgment, informed by intelligence and training, was crucial for success. The Mosquito itself was central to Britain's tactical approach. Its wooden construction made it less visible to radar, while its powerful Merlin engines enabled speeds surpassing many German fighters. Crews trained to exploit these advantages, executing precision strikes that larger bombers could not attempt. The aircraft carried a limited bomb load, emphasizing accuracy over volume, ensuring each strike had maximum strategic impact. Coordination between aircraft was another key factor. Squadrons synchronized takeoff, approach, and timing to overwhelm specific defenses without triggering a full-scale alert. Navigators calculated wind, speed, and target trajectory, while pilots focused on maintaining formation and speed. The integration of technology and human skill allowed Mosquitoes to strike decisively before German forces could mount a cohesive defense. Beyond mechanical and tactical advantages, the psychological dimension shaped operations. German crews learned to respect the Mosquito's speed and unpredictability. Anti-aircraft gunners and fighter pilots faced an aircraft capable of appearing and disappearing before effective engagement. For British crews, the confidence instilled by rigorous training allowed them to act decisively under extreme pressure. The result was a combination of skill, speed, and calculated audacity. On the morning of March 12, 1943, the Mosquito strike was poised for execution. British crews understood the stakes. The target sites were vital to German supply chains, and success or failure could influence broader operations. Each pilot and navigator reviewed intelligence, plotted courses, and visualized the sequence of maneuvers required. Every aspect, from bomb release timing to evasive exit routes, had been calculated in advance. The German defenders, unaware of the specific timing, remained vigilant but reactive. Radar operators transmitted blips to anti-aircraft units, and fighter squadrons were on standby. The Mosquito crew's challenge was to appear at the target, deliver their payload, and exit intact before these defenses could respond. In essence, the mission depended on the perfect fusion of aircraft performance, human skill, and tactical insight. As the Mosquitoes approached occupied territory, the precision of planning became evident. Every calculated adjustment, every split-second maneuver, tested the synergy between technology and operator. The aircraft speed, combined with expert navigation and timing, would be decisive. The mission exemplified Britain's strategic philosophy: leverage innovation, minimize risk, and strike with precision to maximize impact. The stage was set. German radar blips flickered in response to the approaching Mosquitoes, flak guns readied, and fighter squadrons scrambled into the sky. Britain's crews, calm yet focused, prepared to execute a strike that would demonstrate speed, skill, and technological advantage, leaving observers silent at the efficiency and effectiveness of the attack. The crews of the Mosquito bombers were a study in precision under pressure. Pilots and navigators operated as a single unit, their coordination honed through months of training and repeated missions. Every calculation, speed, altitude, heading, was made in real time, while the aircraft moved at velocities that left little room for error. Nerves were tested with every maneuver. The approach required focus, timing, and unwavering composure. Split-second decisions determined whether bombs hit their targets or the mission ended in disaster. Even a minor hesitation could expose the aircraft to flak or interception. The human element was decisive. The crew's skill and trust in each other amplified the Mosquito's technological advantage. Psychologically, the crews were aware of their impact. They understood that the strike could disrupt German logistics, support broader operations, and demonstrate Britain's ingenuity. This awareness sharpened focus rather than creating fear. Every heartbeat, every adjustment, reinforced the principle that human skill, applied precisely, could shape history in the span of minutes. The de Havilland Mosquito was an innovation in speed and stealth. Constructed largely of wood, it was light yet strong, capable of reaching speeds exceeding many contemporary fighters. Its twin Merlin engines delivered both velocity and endurance, allowing it to strike deep into occupied territory and escape before enemy defenses could respond effectively. The aircraft's design emphasized versatility. It could carry a bomb load suitable for precision strikes, operate at low altitude to evade radar, and maneuver sharply to avoid anti-aircraft fire. Every curve of the fuselage and weight distribution had been calculated to optimize speed, stability, and control. For the crews, intimate familiarity with the Mosquito's capabilities allowed them to exploit every advantage, transforming engineering innovation into operational dominance. The Mosquito's performance became central to Britain's air strategy. Its speed allowed it to challenge the assumption that bombers could be reliably intercepted. By merging mechanical excellence with skilled operation, the aircraft redefined the potential of precision strikes and underscored Britain's focus on innovation in warfare. Mosquito missions were carefully orchestrated to exploit both speed and surprise. Flight paths were planned meticulously, accounting for radar coverage, flak positions, and enemy patrol routes. Timing was critical. Multiple aircraft often operated in coordinated waves, designed to overwhelm specific defenses while minimizing exposure. Navigators calculated courses to the second, while pilots maintained precise altitudes and headings. Bomb release points were determined with mathematical accuracy, ensuring maximum impact. Contingency plans were in place for flak bursts, unexpected weather, or fighter interception. The operation was a fusion of foresight, skill, and split-second adaptation. Tactics extended beyond the individual mission. Each strike contributed to broader operational goals, disrupting supply chains, testing enemy defenses, and reinforcing the psychological dominance of Britain's air capabilities. Every Mosquito sortie was a demonstration of how strategy, technology, and human skill could converge to produce decisive outcomes. From the German perspective, the Mosquito represented a unique and unpredictable threat. Radar stations picked up high-speed blips, often too late for anti-aircraft batteries to respond effectively. Fighter squadrons scrambled, but the aircraft's velocity and low-altitude approach often allowed it to evade interception. Each mission challenged assumptions about defensive capabilities and forced rapid recalibration of tactics. The Luftwaffe's planners recognized the Mosquito's potential but struggled to counter its combination of speed and stealth. Anti-aircraft crews had to adjust firing patterns in real time, often relying on incomplete information. Each sortie exposed weaknesses in German radar coverage and reaction protocols, making the Mosquito a symbol of technological and tactical superiority. This perspective highlights the strategic advantage of Britain's innovation. By exploiting gaps in enemy defenses, Mosquito crews could deliver precision strikes while minimizing risk. The aircraft's impact extended beyond destruction. It forced the enemy to rethink engagement strategies and acknowledge Britain's growing mastery of air operations. Precision navigation and timing defined Mosquito operations. Crews relied on advanced instruments, maps, and calculated waypoints to approach targets undetected. Even slight deviations could compromise a strike, emphasizing the critical role of technology in tandem with human skill. Bombing systems required exact release points, calculated using airspeed, altitude, and wind data. The integration of mechanical reliability with human calculation ensured that each bomb hit its intended mark. The Mosquito's wooden construction and aerodynamic design further enhanced survivability, allowing it to strike and withdraw with minimal exposure. This combination of technological advantage and human expertise made the Mosquito uniquely effective. It was not merely speed that defined success, but the precise coordination of instruments, crew, and aircraft. Britain's investment in engineering and operational training transformed these tools into decisive weapons of war. Every Mosquito mission imposed extreme psychological and physical pressure on its crews. High speed, low altitude, and constant threat of flak or interception demanded intense focus. Split-second decisions could determine success or survival. Pilots and navigators had to manage fatigue, maintain situational awareness, and execute complex maneuvers simultaneously. The stress was compounded by mission importance. Each sortie targeted critical infrastructure whose destruction could alter supply lines or operational plans. Crews internalized responsibility for outcomes, balancing caution with decisive action. Calm under pressure was not optional, it was essential. These extreme conditions underscored the interplay of human skill and technology. While the aircraft provided speed and survivability, it was the crew's judgment, coordination, and composure that ensured the strike succeeded. Britain's strategy relied on both factors converging in precise harmony. March 12, 1943. The Mosquito bombers approached their target deep in occupied France. Pilots adjusted throttle and altitude, navigating precisely along the pre-calculated route. Below, German radar stations registered faint blips, but reaction was delayed. The aircraft moved with a velocity that made tracking difficult, each second shrinking the window for enemy response. Inside the cockpit, the crew's coordination was seamless. The pilot monitored airspeed and heading. The navigator calculated wind drift and adjusted for terrain. Instruments guided them toward the bomb release point. Each decision was instantaneous, yet informed by extensive training. Human skill and machine capability operated as one. The first Mosquito reached its assigned target, a railway junction critical for German supply lines. The bomb bay doors opened with mechanical precision. Ordnance released into the calculated path, falling with uncanny accuracy. Explosions erupted as tracks buckled and rolling stock caught fire. German anti-aircraft crews scrambled to respond, but the speed and low altitude of the Mosquito minimized exposure. No pause followed. Other aircraft in the formation executed synchronized maneuvers, their approach timed to overwhelm defensive positions. Observers on the ground, soldiers, workers, and radar operators, watched, often in disbelief, as the strikes unfolded faster than human reaction could track. The precision and speed of the operation left enemy crews unable to coordinate an effective defense. Flak fired in bursts, but the Mosquitoes adjusted instantly. Pilots banked sharply, navigators recalculated, and the formation maintained both cohesion and velocity. Every aircraft carried out its mission simultaneously: bomb release, evasive maneuvering, and exit trajectory. The success of one bomber depended on the timing and accuracy of the others. The strike's effects were immediate. Railway lines disrupted, munitions depots damaged, and logistical flow interrupted. German response lagged behind. Fighter patrols attempted interceptions, but the Mosquito's speed rendered many attacks ineffective. In moments, what could have been chaos became a display of calculated precision. The human element was crucial. Crew nerves, judgment, and instinct complemented the aircraft's capabilities. Each pilot knew when to accelerate, when to descend, and when to release bombs. Mistakes were not an option, precision dictated survival. This interplay of skill and technology produced results that exceeded what any conventional bomber could achieve under similar conditions. Observers, both British and German, noted the rapid execution. The Mosquito's design, combined with disciplined crew operation, had achieved the objective with minimal exposure. The strike demonstrated the RAF's growing mastery of coordinated, high-speed precision bombing. Britain's investment in training, technology, and tactical innovation had yielded a decisive, almost theatrical effect. As the first wave exited the target zone, the second wave prepared for follow-through strikes. The rhythm was mechanical yet human, fluid yet exact. Timing, speed, and coordination were paramount. Every aircraft, every crew member, every instrument contributed to a single, cohesive outcome: destruction of the objective with minimal risk and maximum efficiency. The seconds that defined this engagement would be analyzed in reports and manuals for months to come. It was not luck that determined success, but the convergence of preparation, skill, and technological advantage. The Mosquito strike exemplified Britain's ability to shape the battlefield with speed, precision, and human mastery under extreme pressure. As the Mosquitoes completed their bomb runs, German defenses scrambled. Flak batteries fired intermittently, but the aircraft's speed and low altitude rendered most rounds ineffective. Fighter patrols attempted interceptions, yet the Mosquitoes maneuvered with precision, weaving through anti-aircraft fire and avoiding predicted trajectories. Every second tested the crew's nerves, timing, and coordination. The bomb's impact was immediate. Railway lines twisted under the explosions. Munitions depots ignited, sending plumes of smoke and flames into the sky. Enemy personnel struggled to respond, watching as their carefully planned logistics were disrupted in mere minutes. The efficiency of the strike left German commanders reeling. What should have been a methodical defense had been rendered chaotic by the speed and precision of the Mosquito attack. Inside the cockpits, crews executed the final maneuvers of the mission. Pilots banked sharply to avoid residual flak bursts. Navigators confirmed headings for return routes, calculating fuel consumption and enemy positions. Despite exhaustion and high stress, coordination remained flawless. Training and instinct guided every motion. Each decision, accelerate, turn, descend, was executed without hesitation. RAF command monitored the strike in near real time. Reports from forward observers and reconnaissance planes confirmed the destruction of strategic targets. The Mosquito's swift exit minimized risk, preventing significant losses. This operation demonstrated not just the aircraft's capabilities but also the meticulous planning and human skill that made such results possible. The psychological impact on both sides was profound. British crews recognized the effectiveness of their training and technology, boosting morale across the southern airfields. German forces, on the other hand, were forced to reassess their defensive strategies. Radar detection was no longer sufficient, speed and unpredictability had become the dominant factors. The Mosquito had redefined what precision bombing could achieve. As the aircraft crossed back over the channel, the crews maintained vigilance. Enemy fighters still patrolled, but the Mosquito's calculated maneuvers kept them largely out of range. Observers on the ground watched the aircraft disappear, leaving only smoke and disrupted infrastructure in their wake. Silence followed, a testament to the unprecedented speed and effectiveness of the operation. For the RAF, the strike served as both a tactical and symbolic victory. It validated the Mosquito program, highlighting how innovation, skill, and careful planning could achieve results that conventional bombers could not. The operation also set a standard for future precision strikes, emphasizing that speed, accuracy, and human mastery could decisively shape the battlefield. The engagement concluded with minimal British losses and maximum disruption to enemy logistics. The Mosquitoes returned to Scampton, crews exhausted but accomplished. Officers debriefed immediately, recording trajectories, bomb placements, and enemy responses. Every detail was noted for future missions, ensuring lessons learned would enhance subsequent operations. The successful execution of the strike exemplified Britain's ability to integrate technology, training, and tactical foresight. Individual skill, aircraft performance, and operational planning converged in a decisive moment, reshaping the tactical landscape over occupied Europe. The Mosquito had proven its worth, not only as a bomber but as a symbol of British ingenuity and precision in warfare. The Mosquito strike left an immediate imprint on both sides. British officers reviewed reports from forward observers, reconnaissance flights, and returning crews. Every bomb trajectory, every hit on infrastructure, and every reaction from enemy defenses was meticulously documented. The precision of the strike had exceeded expectations, demonstrating the efficacy of Britain's combination of technology, training, and tactical planning. RAF Command celebrated the mission as a validation of the Mosquito program. Crews were praised for executing a high-risk operation with minimal losses. Debriefings emphasized the coordination between pilots and navigators, the accuracy of bomb release points, and the ability to evade flak and fighters. Lessons learned from this mission were immediately incorporated into subsequent planning and training, reinforcing best practices for speed, timing, and precision. The operational impact was significant. Critical railway junctions were destroyed, delaying German troop movements and supplies. Munitions depots burned, disrupting storage and distribution. Enemy units faced immediate logistical complications, forcing German command to reallocate resources to repair and defend infrastructure. A strike that lasted minutes had consequences that extended for days. German defenses, particularly radar operators and anti-aircraft crews, faced a psychological setback. The speed and unpredictability of the Mosquito had outpaced their ability to respond effectively. Fighter pilots scrambled to intercept, yet often arrived too late to engage. The encounter exposed vulnerabilities in German defensive networks, compelling a reassessment of tactics and engagement protocols. Morale among British crews and airfield personnel surged. The mission reinforced confidence in the aircraft, the training programs, and the strategic doctrine guiding precision strikes. Witnesses on the ground, both in Britain and behind enemy lines, noted the speed and efficiency of the Mosquitoes. The aircraft had become a symbol of Britain's ability to innovate and execute under pressure. Locally, IAF personnel prepared for follow-up missions, using the intelligence gathered from the strike to plan subsequent operations. Communication channels relayed information about enemy reactions, flak effectiveness, and fighter movements. This knowledge enhanced operational readiness and contributed to a continuous cycle of improvement in both tactics and execution. The Mosquito strike was more than a tactical success. It demonstrated how Britain's focus on technology, human skill, and meticulous planning could translate into decisive battlefield outcomes. It reinforced the notion that precision, speed, and preparation were as critical as raw firepower. In those moments over occupied France, Britain had showcased a method of warfare that combined strategy, innovation, and human mastery into a single, effective operation. The Mosquito strike's effects extended beyond immediate destruction. Strategically, the operation forced the Germans to rethink their defensive posture. Radar operators had proven insufficient against aircraft of unprecedented speed and stealth. Flak batteries required adjustment, while fighter squadrons were reassigned or delayed, disrupting coordination across occupied territories. Britain's strike had not only destroyed critical infrastructure but also introduced uncertainty into enemy planning. For the IAF, the mission validated a new approach to precision bombing. The combination of small, fast aircraft with highly trained crews allowed for surgical strikes without the losses associated with larger formations. Reports emphasized that speed, timing, and human skill were force multipliers. The Mosquito had demonstrated that tactical efficiency could create strategic advantage, shaping the conduct of future operations over Europe. Morale among British personnel rose sharply. Stories of the strike spread across squadrons and airfields, highlighting both the technological ingenuity of the aircraft and the courage and discipline of its crews. Observers noted the psychological impact on German defenders, who were forced to acknowledge the Mosquito's effectiveness. This acknowledgement reinforced the reputation of Britain's air forces as both innovative and formidable. Operational lessons were immediately incorporated into doctrine. Mission planners emphasized precise navigation, split-second decision-making, and coordinated approach timing. Crews studied footage and reports to understand enemy reactions and to refine future tactics. The Mosquito program became a model for integrating aircraft performance, human skill, and strategic objectives. The strike also had long-term implications for air warfare. By demonstrating that small, highly maneuverable bombers could achieve objectives previously thought to require large formations, Britain challenged traditional doctrines. The Mosquito exemplified a shift toward innovation, efficiency, and tactical precision, redefining what could be achieved in modern aerial combat. German commanders responded with urgency, attempting to bolster radar coverage and improve interception protocols. Yet the psychological advantage had shifted. Britain had proven that careful planning, technological innovation, and skilled crews could disrupt and dominate even heavily defended areas. The Mosquito strike was a reminder that warfare was as much about speed, skill, and ingenuity as it was about numbers. As the smoke cleared over the targets, IF Command analyzed the outcomes. Crews returned to airfields with data, photographs, and first-hand accounts. Each success reinforced the principle that meticulous preparation, precise execution, and coordinated teamwork could achieve results with maximum effect and minimal risk. The Mosquito had proven its strategic worth, altering both operational practices and enemy perception. In the broader context, the strike reinforced Britain's confidence in its air strategy. Every successful mission validated the focus on technology, training, and tactical precision. It demonstrated that well-executed operations, even with limited aircraft numbers, could achieve disproportionate strategic impact. Dover, Scampton, and other bases had become centers of innovation, where the integration of human skill and mechanical design reshaped the aerial battlefield. The Mosquito had struck with unseen speed, leaving destruction behind and redefining expectations. Britain's combination of innovation, precision, and disciplined execution had produced results that resonated far beyond the immediate targets. The lessons of March 12, 1943, would influence training, tactics, and strategy for months to come. The Mosquito strike of March 12, 1943, exemplifies the convergence of human skill, technological innovation, and strategic planning. In mere minutes, a small formation of aircraft had disrupted vital German infrastructure, demonstrating that speed and precision could outweigh sheer numbers. Britain had proven that meticulous preparation and disciplined execution could redefine the dynamics of modern aerial warfare. This operation highlights the importance of human judgment under pressure. Pilots and navigators relied on instinct, training, and coordination to exploit the Mosquito's capabilities fully. Instruments guided the aircraft, but it was human decision-making that determined success. Every turn, every throttle adjustment, every bomb release point reflected the marriage of intellect and action, proving that technology alone was insufficient without skilled operators. The Mosquito also represents Britain's commitment to innovation. Wooden construction, twin-engine speed, and aerodynamic design allowed the aircraft to achieve what conventional bombers could not. By merging mechanical excellence with tactical ingenuity, the RAF demonstrated that smaller, faster, and more precise aircraft could strike decisively, challenging traditional assumptions about air combat. Psychologically, the strike reinforced morale for British crews and commanded respect from the enemy. Observers, both Allied and Axis, recognized the efficiency, speed, and audacity of the operation. The impact extended beyond physical destruction, shaping perceptions of Britain's air capabilities and influencing strategic decisions on both sides. Ultimately, the mission at occupied France was a testament to how innovation, skill, and preparation can converge to create decisive moments in history. The Mosquito's success reflected not only Britain's technological achievements but also the courage, discipline, and ingenuity of those who operated it. In the broader narrative of the war, it served as a reminder that even brief actions, executed with precision, can have lasting effects on strategy, morale, and the course of conflict. The legacy of that day endures, a demonstration of speed, skill, and ingenuity. Britain's Mosquito struck with unseen velocity, altering the battlefield and leaving behind lessons in strategy, technology, and human mastery that would resonate long after the engines fell silent.